White Hart Lane is Tottenham's history, 118 years. It's where the club have made their name and created their fondest memories. They won their first top-flight title there in 1951, again in their double-winning year of 1961, UEFA Cup in 72, and again in 84 when Tony Parks saved that penalty in the shootout against Anderlecht. By the time they played their final game, it would have been well over 2,500 fixtures that Tottenham have played at that stadium. It's embedded in the soul of the club, in the blood of the fans, and it's little wonder why the club legends, the heroes, the people that the fans worship regard that place as its home.
My second house in England, definitely. If I have any problem in England and in London, I believe I have to knock the door in the club and somebody help me.
Home basically means that it's a place where people basically love you, and this is how I feel when I go there. I feel very much loved. So of course I have my home with my family and so on, but I always just go to White Hart Lane and that's it. I don't have to announce to anybody that I arrive or just go. We need to move to a bigger stadium. The club needed, the team needed, the club needed, and everybody else needed. So that goes without saying. But it's going to be, of course, so many things happen in that stadium. So many wonderful European nights, so many wonderful games, a lot of joy, a lot of tears as well.
You know, the good thing about Spurs, I think most of the time when I played there, and even when I didn't play there in team, you go there with the opposition. And most of the other players enjoy playing at White Hart Lane. It had a real traditional feel about a football club, a bit like Queen's Park Rangers. You know, the stands are very close to the pitch. It always creates a great atmosphere, especially on European nights. So it's just one of those old traditional stadiums. I think, you know, Goodison Park has that feel about it as well. Anfield has that feel about it. You know, there's 3 or 4 teams in the league who are haven't moved to those modern stadiums yet, that still have that real football feel about it. And I think Spurs are certainly one of those clubs.
I think what makes White Hart Lane so special to Tottenham fans is what has made many old-fashioned grounds around the country so evocative over the years. I think it's at the heart of its community. That's so important. You look around many grounds now, many modern grounds, from Bolton to Huddersfield to Reading. They're fine stadia, but they're stuck beside a motorway or in a retail park. There's no real sense of the community being involved in the ground. You really get an idea of this being the heartbeat of Tottenham, of the Seven Sisters High Road. If you just look around, you see that the stands are very close to the pitch. It can create a real cauldron, an intimidating atmosphere, I think, for visiting teams. Of course, they have had their ups and downs here, but when Tottenham are successful, I think it's a chicken and egg situation, really, but when they're successful, I think this is such an important place for them. In my time covering the club, they've never been so strong at this ground. They've not lost in the league there this season. I think it will be difficult for them to adjust to a new home and to move on, but if you look at the way that the new ground's been set up with this Borussia Dortmund style terrace behind one of the goals, I think they are giving themselves the best chance of trying to revive the White Hart Lane spirit in a new arena. At Wembley it's going to be difficult, of course it is, but what they will hope is that they can get off and running once they get to the new ground. Results make all the difference, don't they? A few good results, it starts to become that intimidating home again, and then maybe they can create some of those special memories that they've had so often for so long at this venue.
I was at White Hart Lane for their 2-0 victory over Man City this season. And what struck me is even though they've started demolishing part of the ground, so its capacity is, you know, greatly decreased. So compare that to, you know, the big arenas of the Premier League like Old Trafford and what have you. The noise that the home fans generated in that game, which, let's face it, it's not even a derby match. It's a game against, yeah, you know, one of the top teams in the league. But that noise, the volume and the passion was intense. And it makes you wonder that if they can settle into their new stadium, just what an arena, what an amphitheatre of noise that will be.
Hey, they've been in this place since 1899. Just think of everything that's happened in football, in history, between 1899 and now. And Tottenham at White Hart Lane has been a constant throughout that period. And generations of supporters have come here and they've seen highs and they've seen lows, but White Hart Lane has always been there.